Hello everyone. This presentation has been created to help assist you with determining the differences between two very important offices on campus, the Office of Financial Aid and the Office of the Bursar. While both of these offices are important during the time leading up to your students' arrival on campus, they will continue to be important for the next 4 years. So let's jump in and start to understand their main responsibilities and highlight their differences. Let's start with the Office of Financial Aid. The Office of Financial Aid is the main resource students will utilize on their path to financing their education. The Office of Financial Aid will review each student's FAFSA, or free application for federal student aid, in order to determine the student's eligibility for federal loans and grants. In order to be eligible for items such as subsidized, unsubsidized, or Pell Grants, a student must submit a FAFSA. Once this application has been received and reviewed by UAH, the Office of Financial Aid will apply any aid directly to a student's account. Students can see what they have been offered and accept and/or decline these awards by visiting My UAH. The Office of Financial Aid will also calculate what is the appropriate scholarship allowance that is available to each student. The scholarship allowance is the difference between the stated charge for goods and services, or otherwise known as cost of attendance, provided by the institution, and the amount that is paid by students and/or third parties. They will make sure that students are not receiving more scholarship money than is allowed by the Department of Education. That is the Office of Financial Aid in a very small nutshell. They work consistently throughout the academic year and over the summer in order to make sure that your students are financially ready to attend UAH. The Office of the Bursar is responsible for the billing of student accounts. Something to keep in mind is that the Bursar's office typically does not communicate with your student until he or she is registered for classes. Once bills become available to view, which is normally mid-July, students will receive an email to their UAH email address that they have a new statement available. This will allow them and anyone listed as an authorized user to view statements. The goal of the Bursar's office is to assist with bringing all students' accounts to a paid status. The Bursar is not involved in the financial aid process of awarding any type of scholarships, loans, or grants. When student bills are due, the Bursar is who processes the payments and makes sure that the students' accounts are up to date. They will also provide lists to other departments later in the academic year of students who have past due balances who could potentially be dropped for non-payment. This is a very quick overview of the Bursar's office. The most important thing to remember is that if you have questions about your student's bill or payment arrangements, this is who you would go to. Alright, let's move on to some important items that you will need to be aware of as your student becomes an official UAH student and continues to utilize these offices while on campus. We're going to start with financial aid. If your student has utilized federal loans, grants, or plans to do so in any upcoming academic year, they will need to resubmit their FAFSA each year. The FAFSA becomes available on October 1st. The sooner that students submit the FAFSA, the sooner their application can be reviewed and appropriate aid be added to their account. Each year, the same PIN number will be used to submit a student's FAFSA. The PIN is unique to each student and does not change. It is suggested that students keep their PIN somewhere where it can be easily located year after year. As students refile the FAFSA, they may notice their federal loan eligibility changing. As sophomores, students are able to borrow up to $6,500. Juniors and seniors may borrow up to $7,500 per year. Just as some students were selected for verification as prospective students, the same practice will happen as undergraduates. That's why it's very important for your student to continue to check their UAH email address to keep up with information and requests from the Financial Aid Office. Current UAH students are also eligible for competitive scholarships. As a refresher, UAH's competitive scholarships are funded through the generosity of alumni and friends of the university. Student eligibility is based on a variety of criteria, including academic interests and achievements, special talents, and demonstrated leadership. One single application will allow students to be considered for all scholarships. This application can be found on the Financial Aid website. The competitive awards have a priority deadline of December 15th. As a reminder, all updates and changes to financial aid awards will be communicated to students through their UAH email address. This is why it is very important for your student to continuously check their email and respond to any requests. Some students will qualify for Federal Work Study, which is a program that provides part-time jobs for undergraduate students with demonstrated financial need. Work Study allows students to earn money to help pay education expenses. Students can reach out to the Financial Aid Office directly to inquire if they are eligible for Work Study based upon information related to their FAFSA. As parents, you are probably wanting to know how you're going to gain access to view your students' records. Well, FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, is part of a federal law that protects the privacy of student records. These records include report cards, grades, transcripts, disciplinary records, class schedules, and other information, which means that the university is not able to share students' info with anyone other than the student themselves. There is an option, though, which is the proxy access system. This process allows students to authorize a person to view certain pages that contain information specific to his or her academic records. Students can grant access to anyone with a valid email address. The student has complete control over who has access and what information is viewable. The student can also update and delete access at any time. Students are able to have multiple people designated as a proxy, and each person can have varying levels of access. Proxy access allows information to be viewed, not changed. But most importantly, proxy access does not replace FERPA. Student bills are generated when a student registers for classes. Bills will typically become available mid-July, and students can access them via MyUAH. Student bills are generated through a system called Flywire. Flywire also provides communication updates to students when new statements are available or changes to their account occur. Students are able to set up an authorized user within Flywire, which will allow parents or others to view statements, make payments on a student's behalf, and receive the same communication that the students do. For example, payment due date approaching, changes to the account, etc. It's an easy way to allow parents and others to be involved and informed. The student bill is due each semester on the first day of class. Payment plans are available to assist with paying this sum in a number of payments split up over the semester. For the fall semester, students/authorized users can select 5, 4, or 3-part installment plans to offer more flexibility with payment options. A $50 enrollment fee is charged for each semester's plan. All installment payments are made by automatic deduction from a designated bank account or charged to a credit card. Tuition, fees, and associated charges are to be paid in full by the first official day of the semester. Payments can be made in the form of cash, check, money order, cashier check, traveler's check, electronic check, credit card, or debit card. Students who do not pay their bill in full or who are not enrolled in a payment plan by the end of the second week of classes may be dropped from classes and have their enrollment canceled. Holds are placed on student accounts who have past due balances. These holds prevent students from receiving grades and transcripts and from registering for upcoming semesters at UAH. Emails are sent out to students alerting them of a past due balance and what steps they need to take in order to avoid being dropped. Students should contact the Bursar directly with questions or concerns. UAH accepts the State of Alabama Prepaid Affordable College Tuition Program, or PACT. The PACT program allows students whose parents or guardians prepaid their college tuition to have their tuition paid each semester they are enrolled, up to 135 semester hours. Students who plan to use PACT must send their current PACT card to the Bursar's office as soon as possible. PACT pays tuition only. Fees, parking, housing, etc. are the responsibility of the student. Students who are part of the Academic Common Market and are residents of the state of Kentucky may have KEYS money to utilize. Typically, KEYS money is dispersed after confirmation of enrollment is provided from UAH. 529 plans can also be utilized. Please contact the Bursar's office for additional information. Scholarship renewal is based on the following information. Students must remain classified as an undergraduate student and enroll full-time each consecutive fall and spring term, and earn a minimum 2.0 UAH GPA each semester, and after the first semester of enrollment, maintain a minimum cumulative UAH GPA of a 3.0, earn a minimum of 6 credit hours each fall and spring, and earn a minimum of 24 combined credit hours from fall and spring of the same academic year. Renewal eligibility will be evaluated at the end of each semester. Students who do not meet renewal requirements are not guaranteed to receive their award for future terms. Only UAH courses will be reviewed in scholarship evaluations. Pass-fail courses will not count towards your earned hours requirement. You will be notified of evaluation results. Students who experience extraordinary hardships that lead to the inability to maintain the minimum standards for renewal should contact the Office of Financial Aid directly. If a student does not meet these requirements, they will be notified of changes to their scholarship via email. Students do have to appeal to have their awards reinstated. As we wrap up, please make sure that your students have accepted their scholarships on MyUAH and they continue to monitor their UAH email for important updates and information. If you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out directly to either one of these departments and they will be happy to help.